So when we first became homeless, and the reason was I was working, I was a successful carpenter. I never had any complaints. This might be the same reason that I never had any repeat or referral business. Because I guess I'm such a fucking ugly troll, I really don't give a shit what I look like. I find most people's appearance repugnant. But that's not because I'm antisocial. I think people just need to look better. Okay? Part of the reason that people are ugly is because of circumstances that warp and scar their person. So, with that in mind, I'm starting this video out in a crappy way, but I just got done checking out against medical advice of St. John's and Camarillo because, and this is somewhat convoluted but eventually makes sense story. I feel better. I went to the ER to get checked for a blood clot in my leg and hopefully some antibiotics if it was just an infection. So I go in there, I'm messed up. I can't eat. I'm just lethargic. Brain fog. I think that's a stupid term, but brain fog is a real thing. So, and this has a lot to do with, it's not bullshit. This is well-documented money that we spend money on. They go, oh, homeless people? Well, fuck you. I pay taxes too on everything you buy in California. You're paying that scumbag, criminal, psycho piece of shit, Gavin Newsom. You're paying him to victimize you, to burn down the Palisades, to do all this shit. Listen, there's always one guy at the top. And he even Gavin Newsom speaks to a different higher echelon. So I don't know if it ever stops. And where it does, who knows? Could be God, could be the aliens. You got to wonder why God would create a devil. And could he just slam him down altogether? What the fuck? Well, so our universe, our planet, this country, especially the state of California, divided into regions, central, north, and south. That's equally about how the population offends and is punished. But locally, statewide mandates, like courts and all, those apply whether it's in a county, a boondock, it doesn't matter where the fuck they want to put a state fucking courthouse, they're going to put one. And then there's people gravitate because around every police station, you see the worst ghetto shit there is. You don't see them in nice neighborhoods. They're not trying to drag unruly people through nice neighborhoods. No. And this is a sort of a class kind of a hatred thing, but not really, because I think most people are misled, deluded, and ignorant. Not meaning stupid. There's a lot of really intelligent people, but no one's ever presented it to them as a real fact of life, which is arrogant because do people think they know everything? Come on. Even I am subject to all the same shit I rail on about. And in trying to define and defend the victim in any situation, you immediately have to sort of understand it. And if you can't understand it, then you're fucked in the head. I don't care how much money you got. You could toil like a little worker bee all your... And even what has happened? 60-something% population of bees. That's like literally turning a gun into your heart or your mouth. But we tend to make everything about prioritized and, class systems. And bugs, we need the whole of them. It's a very good equation for humans. We need the mass of organized worker bees to do our very vital function of growing more agriculture, adding life to the world, giving us honey. And I love honey. We're killing them off by half. But we don't have any replacement. There's no ulterior solution. That, my friends, is fucking insanity. So before people go judging homeless people, let's take a look at all our real roles. Don't just examine one group, because you could pick and shred that to 10,000 pieces. But if you examine all the groups and they're all fucked up, then you gotta examine the degree of how all fucked up they are. From monetary, demographics, political, sexual, because even the word gender, what does that relate to with men and women, boys and girls? What is that word? Do they just, we have a need for this word, we're going to just replace these two short words with one word that's almost as long as the short words, because then you could start parsecting it and fucking rip it apart, and then you could dehumanize anything. So if we are Christians, or we are Muslims, or we are Hindus, or American Indians, doesn't matter who, really. The one thing they all tend to not agree on, but they all agree on its reality, is that man was brought to earth not as a gift, although, in many ways it is. It was brought to earth to what? Why would a higher power want to make a plan for a thing unless it was, we are the solvent of worlds? Yeah, there was people on Mars before. Look at where that planet's standing. It's scraped. We're talking about nuclear annihilation as if it's an imminent possibility. And so, because a homeless guy is bringing this shit to your eyes, all of a sudden it becomes invalid. The truth is that a lot of people are just fucking giving up because you can't win. There's no winning against the trend because you're not part of that trend. Because nobody that's in the trend, unless you're a fucking cop or something, is watching this. But how are you going to take offense? The only way you could take offense is if you feel guilt. And I think that humans shouldn't be telling each other what the fuck to do. Because just because society gave you the authority of a gun and a badge, it doesn't make you a better or higher ranked person than me. In reality, which is shared agreement of, but even the Constitution didn't protect against slavery. And now, once again, of course, there's big videos about homeless people disappearing. And now it's becoming known. Now more people are knowing it. And as more people know it, it might just be able to stem the whole tide. But I got out of this after having been, and I have pictures on my Google Photos thing of my wrists and arms scraped to death by these cops that gave me a ticket when I was in the ICU at Los Robles Hospital. A 60-year-old man having to fight, literally, 3 security guards, and then when a cop came in, they put cuffs. And so, after having had a heart attack, and it was because I wasn't wearing the right socks. So, you're like, wow, you just took me down a bunch of fucking weird rabbit holes that I came in, but come full circle. So now, and I've been arrested and taken to all these hospitals to clear me for high blood pressure. I've always had high blood pressure, and when you're getting arrested by a cop, it goes up a lot. So I told them, I just wanted to get a clot checked. They did that, my biggest worry. And if they would, they could prescribe me some antibiotics not because I believe in them, because they work. And that was, an inhaler. They won't give me an inhaler because they say that I could abuse that inhaler. In what case scenario are albuterol inhalers being abused en masse? I don't think any. I'm out there in the world every motherfucking day and I see what people are passing around. But none of them is albuterol inhalers. If anything, it's to help them fucking breathe. An illegal market and albuterol inhalers, if they give me a couple or prescribe me a few, or once every 2 weeks or whatever. I'm on Medicare and Medi-Cal. What the fuck? Isn't that what you pay for also? Are you people being so discriminate that you would even deny medical assistance to somebody who went into the hospital for help? That's, to me, insane. Let's start parsing this whole anti-homeless thing to death. So when I left, I told them, I'm going to pull these fucking needles out, and in 2 minutes, if you don't help me do it. So she runs over and does it then. This is the head nurse. And she throws her arms up in a cross arm and immediately dops the face. And it's like, dude, if you ever want to be liked by anybody, don't cross your fucking arms for one thing. Who the fuck? Or is that like a barrier in case you feel like they're going to come at you, you can just push out? Why even anticipate a battle of that kind to begin with? You know, so she goes, oh, you're threatening to leave the hospital? You're threatening? I know what this leads to. These unjust and unverifiable arrests, of one of which I just fucking blew out of the water by revealing a video that completely refutes everything the cops say and they know. But they charge me with it. I'm having to fight a case, pay money for it. I'm homeless. You know what the homeless people's biggest problem is? Everyone says, don't give them that. Homes.
Money.
But money. Give a dude or a woman a chance, and people will produce.
And people will.
But I can almost guarantee, no matter what level of the ladder that you might be on, in reality, you might be stirring a giant pot of fucking stew. And if you're not doing it right, it's not all going to stir. And then smaller and smaller consecutive pots. But just because you do, your yearly worth as a person, if you were to have disaster happen to you, of which everybody I'm sure will, you're going to there's people, we've met people that were literally billionaires. And how you could fuck up on $1 billion,
I don't know.
right? A lot of bad business decisions and shit. I used to fucking hate the football players that get paid these outstanding fortunes. And they might be worth it while they're playing football, but in private life they're not. They're too costly. And a lot of them are stupid as fuck. So, not just football players. Now it's every sports figure in the world gets paid astronomical sums, and they're not even, look at what how many celebrities and everything are fucking just getting rich because of their bad behavior. But that's not what's conducive to the world life. If we all keep hating and killing, eventually that's what the threat of weapons progression came to the nukes. And so when they realized they could scrape the fucking earth with them and there'd be nobody left, you'd never be able to climb out of your bunker because the half-life of fucking radiation is like minimum 25,000 years. You can outlive that, then you are a god. Otherwise, fuck you, shut up and get in your hole, mole. But, so when she said threatening, I've already had the arrests.
Sorry.
I've already had the billings. I've already had Los Robles try to kill me twice. And,
kill me twice.
yeah, and they, these are all things that start clicking through my head. And I'm like, why are you even bringing the word threatening? Well, I know one thing about fear. Fear, if you stare it down, it'll give. But, people are just deluded if they think that and the more I learn, the more I even examine my own behavior, and I wonder what is real. Because this conditioned way of walking on sidewalks and driving in the streets, and I suppose there's a form of mutual agreement you have to have with the rest of the world so that you can drive and talk and all these things. But there's also, in every creator of anything, there's corruption. I've got Mrs. Wonderful. Say hi, Tracy.
Hi, Tracy.
Yeah, she's trying to act nice right now.
But
this has been a traumatic experience, and they're wanting to take advantage of it for insurance purposes.
Yeah.
I left against medical advice, but she started out with this combative, so I'm like, no, I'm not buying into that shit. There's no combative because they win.
No, they don't.
Yeah, they do.
I'm going to get you your inhalers.
Okay, anyway, so, inhalers. I know a little bit about the drug world, and the inhalers are not being used.
He cannot breathe.
But it would be nice to breathe. That's a fact. It'd be nice to be able to breathe without. This could be from a lifetime of smoking and joking and midnight token and all that crap. But who knows? I think in recent years, because it's happened so rapidly, that it's from the wireless grid, of which they've learned how to identify each particular strand of electromagnetic force current, and then just like if you're in proximity of your phone or any other smart device, that they'll just dial you up like they would an IP address. And maybe that's all we are. Maybe we are a simulation, and they are doing that. What if the next guy on the joystick he's got a dark turn, and we're all just being, because we get aggro together, we get happy together. It's hard to laugh in the face of hostility, but
He's going hungry.
yeah, Miss Whiting. So there's a few thoughts.